friends, this is Ganeshan back with yet another video of the Football Mania to bring you all the latest news and insights from the football world. We have witnessed a very sensational Hero Indian Super League in its 8th edition, and I have been excited because the future looks bright. There are so many standout players who have stood out in this league, and to be honest, I was really looking forward to what kind of selection would Igor Stimac make for the national team going into the two friendly matches against Belarus and Bahrain. And obviously, we have to talk about the selection. It have been a lot of question marks about what Igor Stimac has been thinking, and was he really there on ground to witness quality talent on display. Having said that, we all know that the rule of playing only three foreigners with one additional player was the rule for this season, and this was a huge morale boost for the Indian young players to get the game time and showcase their talent. However, Igor Stimac has now made the final list of 25 players who would be featuring in these two friendly matches, and obviously we have to talk about how Igor Stimac has thought about it, and let's try to analyze and break down this team. How can they gel well as a unit, and are they competitive enough? That is one of the most tricky aspects of this team. There have been a lot of question marks in the past about whether this team can gel well. There are a lot of young players who are coming through in the national team, but because of players who are experienced still in the ranks, you are not getting that game time. And Igor Stimac is a pragmatic manager, I would say, who has given game time to young players, especially when the Indian team is winning. We have relied heavily on Sunil Chhetri. However, the big breaking news is that Sunil Chhetri is not in this list of 25, and we can expect some young players to step onto the pitch. So let's exactly look at what is this kind of setup which Igor Stimac is looking forward to, and what can we expect. It's a really big call which he had to take. He has seen a lot of players performing exceedingly well in the Hero ISL. However, to make it to the national team, obviously, my understanding is that there have to be some scouts, there have to be, quality players, quality, recruitment personnel who would be, judging the players based on certain scouting criteria. And this is what I have been talking about in so many of these videos, that we see players who have the talent, but when it comes to the big stage and representing your country, it is a completely different kettle of fish. And you come up against the best teams, not just in the surrounding countries or in the subcontinent, but also if you look at the entire Asian continent, you have teams like Japan, you have teams like China, South Korea, Bahrain, everyone who are one of the most biggest powerhouses in Asian football. And to compete with those teams, you require depth, you require quality young players coming through the ranks. And this is where I feel that Igor Stimac has to play a crucial role in giving chances to youngsters. So let's have a look at this list of 25, and let's see what can we make out of it. So this is the list. It has been a very strong squad in my opinion. To just look at the way Igor Stimac will be setting up his team, he obviously has his go-to goalkeeper Gurpreet Singh Sandhu on goal. Along with him, the second choice goalkeeper is Amrinder Singh, because of that experience, because of his mentality as a very strong ball player. He has been there in the squad for a long time, and one of the most important inclusions in that department is Prabsukhan Gill. He is the guy who was standout in the Hero ISL. He took Kerala Blasters to a very crucial final. He was the Golden Glove winner, and rightly so. He's just 21 years old, mind you, and he has a very big future ahead of him. And this is what I was really looking at when I was seeing this national team. Yes, they have squad depth, they have players who have fulfilled their potential, and they still have a long way to go. However, if you look at the team now which has been selected, there are a lot of interesting choices. In the defense, Obviously, Pritham Kotal was the standout player for ATK Mohun Bagan. Seriton Fernandez was on and off in terms of performance in the Hero ISL for FC Goa. Even though I don't rate him so highly, but I just feel that he's the best second choice right back at the moment. And obviously, the first choice being Rahul Bheke, who has been experienced enough to, command the back line along with Sandesh Jhingan in the past. And one of the most crucial names which I can see here is Hormipam Ruiva. He has been one of the pillars of the Kerala Blasters defense. Unfortunately, he got injured in the middle of the season, and it was a very, very crucial blow for the Manjapadas. However, the way he has performed, the way he has put in tackles, and the intensity with which he plays football is just exceptional. And Urmipam is one of those players whom you can heavily rely in the back line. He's quite composed on the ball. He would give you that kind of intensity and tempo when the team is building out from the back, and he's not afraid to go toe to toe with the best strikers in the world. You saw some quality football display. He was up against Barth Ogbeche in the final, and the way he was able to deal with Barth was just outstanding. And we also have to remember that he is a player who can switch the play really well. He can hit those accurate diagonals, and this is one of the most important aspect of building up from the back. You require players who are very solid and composed with the ball at their feet, and this is what we can expect from a player like Hormipam. Along with him, Sandesh Jingan, I think, would be the ideal centre back because he can give him that kind of guidance and give him that morale boost which he would require stepping up for the first time in the Indian national team. Anwar Ali is one such player once again who has delivered for FC Goa. He was quite consistent in all the starts what he got, and I just feel that over this period of time in the Hero ISL, he has stepped in really well. And obviously, Chinglen Sana on the back of a triumph as the title winner for Hyderabad FC would be having loads of confidence, and I just wish him all the best. This is one of the most crucial victories of his life. Now that he has this kind of record with him, it is crucial for him to step up the same kind of performances with the national team. And once again, Subhashish Bose and Akash Mishra were outstanding. And Roshan Singh is one yet another very crucial inclusion in this squad because I feel that he is very good not just in terms of attacking football going on from the left hand side, but I have also seen him whipping in beautiful free kicks on the top bins. And obviously, we never have had that kind of player who is good at set pieces. And I think Roshan Singh is one such option which Igor Stimac currently has, and he has to utilize going forward. He's quite young, mind you, and the way he deals with pressure is just outstanding. The number of times he has won the interceptions and carried the ball up to the halfway line and found his teammate is something really extraordinary. He is one such player who definitely should feature in these two matches, and I expect a lot from such young players. Going on to the midfield, you have players like Bipin Singh, Anirudh Thapa, one of the most consistent players in the national team, and the experience of Pranay Haldar, the tenacity of Jackson Singh, who was just outstanding for Kerala Blasters once again in a season where we didn't expect them to actually qualify for the finals. Jackson Singh was the pivot in the middle of the pitch along with Puitia. However, his goal in the Under 17 World Cup was the start of his rise, and he has just gone from strength to strength. Along with him, we have players like Brandon Fernandez, VP Suhair, who can give you that kind of work rate, and obviously Danish Farooq is one such crucial inclusion in my opinion. Having seen Danish, I have seen a player with that kind of flair and technical ability who is that kind of box to box midfielder. He can go around the 6 yard box, he can be at the edge of the D box, and he can score goals. We have heavily relied on Sahal Abdul Samad, but to freshen up things, I just feel that Sahal is now being injured. He was not featuring in the final and also the semi-final for Kerala Blasters. I just feel that is a very big opportunity for Danish Farooq, who has been outstanding for Bengaluru FC. Along with him, we also have Yasir Mohammed, once again a player who I rate quite highly. He is composed on the ball. Whenever he gets the ball, he tries to do something with it. He has a purpose with him, and that is what we require from Indian players. He's quite exceptional when you take him on the right hand side, and he can cut in onto his left foot and whip in those beautiful crosses. And this is where I feel that India have always lacked a proper left footed player. Yasir is one of those key players who is, has a very strong left foot. And I just feel that, he requires that kind of game time. He requires a team where he can, utilize the width on the right hand side and he can, cause havoc for any opposition. And I think he has to feature in these matches because Yasir is that kind of left footed player who can, go either way. And he is quite composed on the ball. So it will be very crucial to see how Igor Stimac rotates his squad. And once again, we are seeing Aniket Jadhav, who had a sensational campaign with Hyderabad FC. In that left wing, he was one of the key reasons why Bart Ogbeche was able to link up with him. And, he was getting that confidence from players like Bart. And obviously, if you have such kind of experienced teammates who can give you that morale boost, you will always flourish. So I think it's a very good, strong, compact midfield, and I am just able to see that Igor Stimac is going with a very different approach this time. He wants to prove a point to the other teams that they cannot be taken lightly. It's a quite talented midfield, I would say, with a lot of young players and also has that kind of experience in terms of having players like Pranay Halder. So it will be really interesting to see who features in the three-man midfield. Talking about the forwards, well, I was not surprised that Sunil Chhetri was left out of the squad. At the age of 37, how can we still rely on a man like Sunil Chhetri? Yes, he's captain fantastic, a leader and a legend, but it is time to fill the boots by the young players. And obviously, everyone knows the quality that these three players who are there, they have been exceptional for their teams. Once again, Liston Colasso, he scored some rockets in this season in the Hero ISL, and I expect him to, carry on that same kind of form into the national team. Yes, the pressure is different. You are playing for the country, but I just feel that they have to deal with such kind of pressure and take it as a challenge. They need to embrace this kind of pressure and they need to fulfill their potential. Rahim Ali was quite disappointing, I would say. He was not that kind of player which we saw 1 or 2 years back in the national team. And obviously, we know that even with Chennai FC, he had a very good record coming off the bench and scoring. However, this season he was not so great, but I expect a lot from him. And Manveer Singh, yes, he can drift on the right hand side, he can play from the left, he can play down the middle as a number 9. But I just feel that in terms of current form and momentum, I just feel that Liston Colasso and Manveer Singh ideally should start together and India should play in a 4-4-2 formation. Yes, this is the kind of structure which is very, very traditional in modern football. And I just feel that, all over the pitch, India has that kind of quality. But can they deliver on the big stage? There are a lot of question marks asked about the mentality of this team. Can they grind out results even when they go behind in a match? Do they have the character to come back and take a victory? That is the big question which Igor Stimac has faced. He has been criticized to not make key decisions during the middle of the match. In terms of his substitutions, we feel that sometimes it's so baffling. But to be honest, yes, Igor Stimac has not been in the Indian setup for a long time, but the results don't lie. He has been quite, fantastic in terms of man management, but in terms of performance, he is still not up to the mark. Let's be honest. We have seen the potential. We also saw drubbings against the teams like UAE by 6 goals to nil. Well, if we look at the record of Igor Stimac, he's still a man who is in the process of building a team. He still does not know his best playing 11, and how can you expect such a coach to take you to great heights? Still, as the Blue Tigers, we need to back the manager, we need to back the entire squad to do well in these friendlies. So guys, please let me know what are your thoughts. What do you feel about this kind of selection? Do you feel that the young players who I mentioned like Roshan Singh should start? Do you feel that Prabsukan Gill deserves that kind of game time and the opportunity having won the golden glove? Please put in your thoughts about the key players who do you think should start in these two matches. And for regular updates from the world of football, please do not forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. So until next time, stay safe and take care.